Alright guys, Criminal here, back to you with another MK1 video. In this one I'm gonna be making an updated cameo tier list post the nerfs, like after the big nerfs that they did for Kung Lao and Cyrax. After the October patch that they released like a few days ago, max, I don't remember when, but a few days ago, it hasn't even been a week yet. But yeah, it is really early to actually be making tier lists like that. The full patch notes released only like yesterday or 2 days ago, so it's kinda early, but I do believe I can actually rank them pretty well now because the patch really wasn't that big. Only Cyrax and Kung Lao took really major nerfs. The rest were just all universally nerfed altogether. So yeah, let's get into it. Actually, just I know most of you are probably here just to see Cyrax and Kung Lao, so I'll get to them first. Um, Actually, Cyrax I will get to him last. Actually, Cyrax. So if you want to see Cyrax right off the bat, just feel free to skip to the end of the video if you don't want to see everybody else. I understand that, but I just I want to just evaluate him compared to others I will rank before him. So to rank him accurately, I gotta put him last. Frost, first of all, I feel like she's a good cameo. I don't feel like she's bad or anything like that, but I don't think she's I don't think she's great because she has some flaws. Like everything she does is someone that I don't really like, man. Like I feel like some of her moves could have been in ambushes, and that would have really been the end of the world. Like the glacier could have probably been an ambush, actually be a very good combo tool. I would love that to just give her even more combo utility because she really only has the freeze. She has also the ice orb, the multiple stabs she does, which is actually pretty good. But you can duck under it on reaction after most moves because it's slow. So it's a high attack that is slow. So most attacks wouldn't even jail to that. Certain characters can, but most normal strings, like let's say 1/1 strings, won't jail into that thing. You can actually just duck it on reaction most likely. So yeah, it has its flaws, but she's pretty solid pick, man. You can pick her with a lot of characters in the roster because the ground freeze is so powerful. And yeah, she has very good utility on neutral with her ice orb that can be cancelled very quickly now, and with her ground freeze that can just be used as a full screen trading tool. So she's very good. Let's move on. Next up we have Goro. I'm going to put Goro over Frost. Goro I feel like is pretty good. I feel like the issue with him is just how pretty much all of his moves except for one are almost useless. The toss can make for some nice stuff because it's unblockable when the opponent is crouching, I'm pretty sure. Like, if they are crouch blocking, this thing will actually just launch them regardless. You can't block it, it's unblockable when you're crouch blocking. But I don't know how exactly it works, but it's still not very good. I've seen there is a lot of counterplay to that. I haven't seen a single Goro user use that. But I'm ranking Go in the good tier, not in decent, just because the up punch is very good. On block it's plus 15, on hit it's a very good combo tool. But they've done a universal change that all of these combo tools, this one, Jax's backbreaker, Kano's knife, Striker's bombs, everything you can think of that combos more than once in one combo, is now getting an increased cooldown if you use it more than once in a combo. Really useless nerf in my opinion because certain cameos are really damaged by that. Regardless, Goro is still pretty decent. I just feel like his viability on block isn't there because the up punch's use on block is very limited because of the long cooldown. So he's good, but he's nothing too crazy. Next up we have Jax, fantastic cameo. Jax's ground pound is still the same basically. I don't think it was changed at all. Very good. The backbreaker was universally nerfed like every other movie. It just like has more cooldown now, but Jax is basically the same he was. He's still very powerful in many characters. Doesn't really have that much block utility, but at the very least you have a move to keep yourself safe at the end of unsafe strings that are special cancelable. And some characters can make actually good use of that, like let's say Kitana. So yeah, Jax is very useful in many characters. The ground pound can set up for something for the nastiest stuff of all time. It could actually be a very viable option for Kenshi, believe it or not, simply because of the fact that the ground pound actually has no effect on Sento. Turns out, like Sento just doesn't care about the ground pound. He doesn't put Sento to sleep, so that's good. Next up we have Kano. So yeah, Jax is great. He has the best effect on HP, by the way. Like I don't think Frost affects HP if I remember correctly. Goro removes 50, which is not bad, which is bad, and Jax has an insane one, which actually gives you 100 HP, almost basically giving you the ability to survive a back throw, which is very good. Next up we have Kano. I'm gonna put him here. I do feel like he gained some value with certain characters just because Cyrax got nerfed and the ground version of the suit is now no longer a viable combo tool basically. So Kano's knives are the second best option almost. But there is a major issue I will get to later, and that is this guy. Kano just feels basically like an inferior version of Striker, to be honest. Just that's the big problem with him. Like there is another cameo that's doing everything he's doing with one move, so it's not very good for Kano, but he's very fun to use. I love the knives. I love the way they juggle in the air, like how they stun the enemy mid-air, but he needs some buffs for sure, man. The knives are high, they don't have that much block stun. They are very good to combo tools, but they scale way too much, so we need some help. And he also got nerfed by the knives not being available more than twice in a combo. No. Like the knives having a cooldown nerf after 2 times in a combo. So yeah, that's it for Kano basically. Next up we have Kung Lao, best cameo in the game. I don't think it's up for much of a discussion. Cyrax was basically his only competition. Like you could see in ECT in the pro tournament with that Sonic Fox won. Like Kung Lao is just he's so busted, man. He was the only competition he had was Cyrax, and the nerfs he got compared to what Cyrax got are low key nothing. Like the Basso had all instant cooldown before the nerfs, pretty much instant, 1 second, less than 2 seconds, and it was already half back. Now it's pretty much double the cooldown. That's basically what they did. They doubled the cooldown time. Double the time after the cooldown was like less than 2 seconds. Isn't that big of a change? The Buster is almost always available still. It's still absolutely busted. The best move in the game for block strings. The best move in the game for pressure almost. Like, just pair him with Johnny Cage and you're getting so much fucking plus frames. It's crazy. You can't even, you can't take your turn back. It gives you very, very easy ways to actually close the distance with the held version of the Basso. Like, you do a slide with Sub-Zero and have the Basso to cover you afterwards. You do, I don't know, a shadow kick with Johnny, they block it and you release the Basso that you held beforehand, and then you actually plus. Just you can close gaps very quickly. You have no gaps to actually be punished on. Like you can't be minus on strings because you can just get the Basso off. You can meaty Basso after certain strings, like Gira says forward 4-4. You can just preemptively click the Basso summon and it will just come after the forward 4-4 and keep Gira safe. So he's just insanely busted, man. The Basso alone is already better than everything other cameos are doing. So yeah, Kung Lao is still the best in the game. I don't think he even has competition now, to be honest. I feel like he's heads and shoulders above everybody else. I could honestly make him a separate tier, but he's already in his own tier. There's not going to be anybody here, so I feel like it's okay as it is right now. I don't feel like there's a need to put another gap in the tier, like another tier, and then put Kung Lao above that tier. I don't feel like that's necessary, but I just feel like you understand the point. Kung Lao is insane. Next up, we have Motaro. Really cool utility tools he has, but he has pretty much zero viability in combos, which I don't like personally because almost all characters in this roster need cameos to actually be able to do good combos, good damage. Like to get to the average damage zones, you're gonna need a cameo most of the time, unless you're getting your ideal starters, or unless you're someone like Johnny Cage who doesn't really need the cameos because he's busted. Or Giras, who doesn't need the cameos for damage specifically, but I do feel like every cameo in the game should have some form of combo utility, or at the very least insanely busted utility, which Motaro doesn't have. So Motaro's problem is his tools are very good. The triple laser being a very good setup tool to like set up, let's say, hourglasses with Giras. But there is a major problem. First of all, it's a summon, so it's much harder to set up because it's so slow and takes a while to activate. You can punch go Motaro in the face. And second, which is the biggest one, it takes a full cameo gauge and has very bad cooldown. So yeah, it's pretty much impossible to use it. The teleport is good. I would give him that. The teleport is really good. Basically, I would say it's pretty much a better version of Kung Lao's teleport. I feel like it's faster. And what next? What can be said next? It could be the same speed though. Don't get me on my word here. The low tail shot, too much cooldown. It's essentially just like Kung Lao's Basso. It should just operate in the exact same way. I don't feel the reason to just. They could have just made Motaro's tail shot be a second Basso, basically. The low shot he does, just make it another Basso, almost. Just without the held version. A regular Basso, like just give yourself plus an insanely fast cooldown. That would just be great for Motaro. Just be more available because he has some pretty nice utility tools. He has the triple lasers. If the low shot was like Basso, his reflect would have been much better. So yeah, he could use some buffs for sure. He's decent. He's not ass, but he is not very good either. Scorpion. I am going to put Scorpion here. Scorpion has only one utility tool, which is the fireballs, and that's the only utility he has. He's just good for very, very good for combos, but his viability on combos is actually so insane. I really do think he's good. Like not decent. I feel like he's good. His blade, take it or leave it. The overhead blade slash pretty much useless. The spear borderline useless. But the fireballs are so busted in combos. They are absolutely insane. You use them in combos with almost every character in the game. It launches to the sky, which everybody almost do that, and you're getting basically 40-50% easily. Like pair with someone like Melina, pair with Scorpion, pair with everybody you want, and you're just getting so much damage. So yeah, he is good, but I feel like the characters in this game are actually not good enough to actually make good use of this guy, because pretty much everybody except for this guy need cameos on block. This guy and this bitch. Other than them, everybody else need help of cameos on block streaks. If they don't, they really struggle to open you up. So yeah, Scorpion is good, very, very insane for combos, but that's the only ability he has. But it's so good, I feel like he's a good cameo. Shujinko breaks my heart to do it, but I am putting him in kinda ass. If you don't know why, I had him like in very good in my last tier list, but there is a major reason why I'm nerfing him here. That is because they nerfed both of his best matchups. Like a double center stance was one of the bigger values of this cameo, actually, in my opinion. Kenshi is a very tough matchup to deal with for many characters. He's just a very hard character to fight against. Shujinko makes it much better. Like, especially if you're using Kenshi yourself. I know it's not that common, but now it is very, very common after the patch, because Kenshi is now top 2 or top 3 characters in the game. I'm gonna maybe be making a playable character tier list as well, by the way, but Shujinko's double center stance actually was such a powerful tool to have, and it really shouldn't have been nerfed. They shouldn't have removed it. Like, Shujinko's center stance, the center stance Shujinko gives you, actually just disappears if you get hit once. So, it's a much weaker version of regular center. It takes a shit ton of setup to actually set up both center stances. You can get armored in the face at any time when trying to do it. Like, there's no guaranteed way to actually do it. So it was just a completely useless nerf, I'll be honest with you. I don't understand at all why they even did it. Like, they should have just kept double center as it is, because, man, it's very tough to actually utilize both center stances together, and it's insanely hard to actually set it up. So no reason to nerf that. And the biggest nerf he got is just the matchup with Giras, how he can only freeze you once in one combo now, which is a massive nerf to this guy, because being able to do a time freeze multiple times in combos made this guy so good against Giras. I really hated how they just thought it was a good idea to nerf these guys' matchups, man. Shujinko is a cameo that is basically a Russian roulette. You're using this guy and you're taking the risk that you could just get a shitty matchup and then he's completely useless. So if you're getting someone like, let's say, Baraka, you steal all of the useless stuff, like you don't steal anything good. So what do you even do? You steal a combo ender that every character in the roster pretty much has, and you steal a projectile. Why do you even need these things? So yeah, Shujinko, if you get a bad matchup, Shujinko is pretty much like playing without a cameo. You can basically throw away the first set in Combat League pretty much almost. So I feel like you should get rewarded for actually getting lucky and getting a good matchup. Like, if I'm playing Kenshi and I run into a Kenshi mirror once in a blue moon, and I deserve to get double center. To be honest, I really do, because I took the risk and ran Shujinko. Shujinko is a tough cameo to use. What he's doing is doing very good, but he has almost no viability on block. He's pretty much only a combo and setup tool. That's pretty much everything he's doing. He has pretty much no viability on block, regardless of what you're stealing. So yeah, it's just I don't understand why they would bother nerfing this guy. I really don't. I feel like Shujinko should have made multiple matches, more than just two, where he is completely and utterly broken best cameo in the game. Unfortunately, the only matchup where Shujinko is actually better than Kung Lao is only when you're fighting Kenji, because getting Sento is still completely busted. But other than that, now even against Giras, Kung Lao is just better than Shujinko, so why would even you run Shujinko? Like, there's no justification for doing it now. Like, they don't give you an incentive to do it, because he has only one matchup where he's the best cameo in the game. So why would you even run this guy? So yeah, just unfortunate. The most fun cameo in the game, but it's just ass. I don't know what else to say. He's just not good. Sonya. I do feel like Shujinko is actually more useful than her, believe it or not, because Shujinko always steals combo tools pretty much. Against all characters, almost except for Baraka and Johnny Cage, he's stealing launchers of sorts. So Shujinko actually has combo viability basically on par with Sonya. So, and if you get lucky, he's much better than Sonya. So I do feel like Sonya is the weakest cameo in the game right now, just because she's only doing one thing and she's not even doing it that well. The square wave is a decent combo tool. It's not even that crazy or something. Like, I would say Scorpion's Fire Breath is 10 times better, and that's pretty much the only thing Sonya is doing, so I don't feel like she's very good at all. Like, their energy rings are not very good. Their highs and the charged version, it takes so much time to actually activate. You could just punch her in the face with a projectile of your own, and the leg grab is just completely useless. The worst cameo move in the entire game, most likely. So yeah, I do feel like Sonya is shit. Moving on, we have Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is very, very good. I do feel like he's better than Jax, actually. He's basically a better version than Frost, in my opinion. His ice armor is incredible to actually deal with keep away. Like, his ice armor, you can just put it on and then bulldoze through everything, unless you're fighting Reiko with his shurikens. The shurikens actually break the armor. Like, after multiple hits, this armor will break. It's not permanent. So the ice armor can break after 3 or 4 hits, I believe. I believe it's 4 if I'm not mistaken, but still against most characters in the roster, this just gives you the ability to close the gap without having any risk of getting punched in the face almost. And this freeze is basically a better version of Frost's freeze. Like, it freezes for longer and you can freeze the mid-air very easily. So it's not a projectile, but in close range, it's probably the best combo tool in the entire game, just because of how long it freezes them for. You can actually set up like a Sindel. You can set up an anti-breaker in a combo after freezing the enemy and still keep the combo going. It freezes them for that long. So yeah, it's a very, very good combo tool. And the shoulder bash, like the cold shoulder, pretty good on block as well. Like, it has a lot of pushback and it's safe. So very good option for many characters who just need these things. So next up we have Striker. I do think he's the second best cameo in the game. Absolutely amazing cameo. This guy is very, very underrated. He's pretty much doing everything you could possibly want. He has the buttons, which are some of the best moves in the game for block, but they have one issue, which is cooldown. They have pretty much double Kung Lao's low hat cooldown, and I don't like that at all. I feel like the I feel like the health version of Basso is much, 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 much more powerful than the buttons. So I do feel like the buttons should have the same cooldown as Kung Lao's Basso. I don't even think it would be that broken or anything, because the low button is not even that plus. So you can just block overhead or just maybe up block it, and then you can even punish him. So yeah, the low version is only +1, so it's not as powerful of a mix-up as you might think, but it's still very, very powerful to have a plus low and a plus overhead. And the overhead is completely insane. +6 and jails from any string in the game. So yeah, Striker is insane on block. He has the handcuffs that just deny all wake-up options. You can't input anything when you're in the handcuffs. If I just do, let's say Johnny's a 9 frame mid, after the cuffs and you try to press anything, you're getting hit for a full combo. So they are very good against certain characters who like spamming the shit out of armor moves, like this guy. So yeah, it's just, and the bombs, of course. The bombs are just everything else is just the icing on the top. The bombs are just the biggest value. The bombs are insane. They are +77 if both of them hit together. They can break armor when spaced correctly. They're one of the best combo tools in the game. They have practically zero scaling, so they're basically Kano knives and a lot of steroids. That's the best way to describe it. I feel like they're even comparable to Cyrax. Cyrax source before the nerf, because their cooldown is actually very, very fast, considering what they are doing. They are insane combo tools, much better than Cyrax's ground version of the Saws. They combo in the air, they combo on the ground. They are just completely insane, man. They are one of the best moves in the entire game of all cameos, and you can really utilize them to just keep yourself plus in so many scenarios. And one of my favorite things to do with Striker's bombs is just because Striker, when you summon him, actually appears behind you, much behind you. Like Striker, Striker, you can just throw out some random shit on block that isn't safe at all. Like, let's say Johnny's Shadow Kick on block, but if you have Striker summon, they can't attack me, because if they do, they will hit me in the face, but the bombs will still hit them. And if both hit them, 99% of the time you're getting a full combo. And even if one hits them, it has so much hit advantage, you're just getting a full combo. And it doesn't scale. The bombs don't scale pretty much at all. So yeah, just insanely good move. I love Striker, man. Well, probably my favorite cameo in the game, I would say. Either him or Shujinko. I really love Shujinko, but Shujinko is not good, man. I feel like they way undertuned this guy considering what he's doing. He's basically playing Russian roulette, but like, you're playing Russian roulette, but there's no reward to it. So yeah, just I don't know what they were thinking with these nerfs. Before the nerfs with the Giras and double center, I feel like he was much better, but now when he lost basically both of his best matchups, I feel like he's not very good. Cyrax, I said I would do him last. Sarina, she's great. I'm not gonna go too much in detail. I don't want this to get too long. It's almost 20 minutes by now, but Sarina, I feel like she's a crazy good cameo. She's probably like number 3 in the game. I do feel she's better than Sub-Zero. She's just the best cameo in the game almost after this guy in neutral. She's completely insane in neutral. The blades are so fast they can catch you off guard if you weren't blocking, or if you weren't anticipating them, and they give you a full combo with almost every character in the roster that has good range. Like, let's say someone like Ashra, someone like Tanya, I don't know, someone even like Smoke, someone like Johnny as well could actually even get a full combo off of it, even full screen, because this thing stuns for a while and you can move much earlier than it actually ends the animation. So yeah, she's just very, very good. I feel like we all know what she's doing by now. She's a very good cameo. Sector, he's good, very good. The missile is great, but I do feel like there is a bit of an issue with this guy, and just the missile being one hit means you are very, very vulnerable to armored moves. That is the biggest issue of this guy. And because armor moves in this game are so powerful, I do feel like he loses much of his viability on Oki. I feel like they should have gave him an ability to actually throw 2 missiles instead of 1. Like, I feel like the homing missile, they should have made the regular missile a homing one, honestly. I don't feel like it would have been too broken or anything, because it's mainly an Oki tool. In combos, it could have stayed the same, but in neutral, it should have been homing in general, like just chasing after you. And I feel like the double version, like the full gauge version that is now the homing missile, I feel like it should have been Sector throwing 2 missiles. Or the ability has like the target acquired from MKX, where it was like launching 4 of them, so he can actually negate armor and give you Oki. I feel like that's the biggest issue with this guy. Just he's pretty much built to be able to give you very good Oki, but he's not doing that very well because really you're counting on your opponent to respect you with the missiles. That's just how it works right now. So yeah, he's very, very good though. Don't get me wrong. I actually do think I should put him here. He's much better than those in good tier, so he deserves to be in great tier. But I do feel like he has this weakness, which is unfortunate. But regardless, he has the missiles are just insane. Honestly, man, they are so good in everything. On combos, they are great. Setup, they are great. Oki, while they have weaknesses in Oki, they are still they are still very, very good. The teleport punch can be used fully neutral and in combos. The flamethrower is a very good reversal, and it's also a very good combo finisher with the wrist hand. Basically, that's the same as Striker's cuffs. Keeps you very plus on hit, so they can't even do any sort of armor moves or whatever. So against Kung Lao, you actually really want to use moves like this to just negate his armor. Because many Kung Laos just spam the shit out of armor instinctively, because it's so busted. Next up, we have Darius, his ass. I don't even know what else to say. Actually, he's just the worst in the game. No. I feel like he still has more value than these two in the certain matchup. Like he almost in all matchups, he's basically better than these two. Darius, actually, I would say Darius is worse than Sonya even. Actually, no. Sonya is worse than him. Sonya is worse. Sonya is worse. Sorry. Darius, the biggest issue with this guy is just the cooldown. It's so long, it's absolutely insane. Man, it pretty much takes him 40 seconds to actually return after you summon him. Basically, meaning you get him once in a match, twice if you're lucky, which is just completely stupid because considering how it is right now, if they want to keep the cooldown the same, the kick should be unblockable and kill you on the spot. Like, if you land the kick, it does 1000 damage and you die instantly. That's how it should work. The cooldown is that bad, man. The only value this guy has is the kick, and it's not good enough to warrant this amount of cooldown. To actually make the kick worth it, they should make it instead of what he's doing right now. It should have been the charged version of the Basso, hits full screen, unavoidable, unblockable, and hits the full combo. That's what it should have been. If they're actually gonna make it the cooldown that bad, because this guy has no other value. The spin move is completely useless on block. If you flawless block the final hit, which is very easy to do, is minus 17, so full punish, you're getting punched in the face. And the flip is just impossible to set up with any character because it takes so much fucking time to activate. So Darius is shit, so much fun, but just kinda ass, unfortunately. So yeah, that's for it for him. And finally, we have this man. Where do I put you? Do I put Goro in great? Do I put? I should probably should, to be honest. But just put Goro in great. Yeah, let me just put Goro in great. I do feel like Goro is better than these two by a significant amount. So yeah, Goro is in great. Cyrax, as for where he's going. The nerf they gave him is absolutely insane, man. The nerf is substantial. Very, very, very substantial. I feel like we all see that by now. He still has similar combo viability. He almost lost no combo viability with most of the casts because the air source still do what they did. They haven't changed at all, but they scale much more heavily now. But due to the fact you're normally doing them like at the end of a combo, you don't really lose value for this guy in combos that much. Other than, of course, Sub-Zero was relying on the slide combos. But again, another silent Sub-Zero nerf. They're just never gonna buff my guy. But regardless, Cyrax is, of course, the biggest issue he has now is the full gauge ground swords. Do I feel like it was necessary? Yeah, of course they needed to nerf Cyrax in some way. Do I feel like this nerf was the right call? No, I don't feel like it was the right call. It's way overtuned. The ground swords are basically useless now. Nobody's using them now. They are just completely useless. They have no use now. So yeah, I don't know why the fuck they would go that far. Like, and what can you say? The net isn't useful unless you're Johnny Cage, and the bombs, or unless you're getting lucky and doing it as a trade, which doesn't happen a lot. And the bombs are completely useless pretty much with the entire cast. Other than Johnny, you can just set up a nice setup in hype, but this setup is not foolproof. It has multiple counters, so the bombs are almost useless. There is not much use to them, so yeah, they way overdid with the ground so nerf, man. They really like overestimated how good this guy is without the ground source. Without the chip damage setups, this guy is a very good combo tool, but now that the scaling is also increased, I don't even feel like he's great anymore. He was here, like before he was here actually, he was number one basically. You could argue Kung Lao was better even before the nerf, but I do feel like he and Kung Lao were the only two cameos that were on par with each other. Like everybody else was not even close to them. I just still do feel like it's the same for Kung Lao now. Like he's just the best in the game. But as for where I put Cyrax, I would say he's good over Scorpion, over Frost, but I don't think he's great anymore. I feel like that's a pretty accurate placement. Another thing you could do is just replace him with Goro here. I do feel like that's a pretty good placement for him as well, but I don't feel like there's much else you can say about this guy, unfortunately. Like, actually, let me just put you here. I do feel like Sector. Is Cyrax better than Sector? No. So let me just, I keep it like that. I feel like I'm very comfortable with that, actually. That's pretty much the best I'll get at ranking these guys. So yeah, that's basically my tail, guys. Cyrax got the hurt really hard. He's still very good. Like, he's a good cameo. He's not cheat by any means. Like, he's one of the best combo tools, if not straight up the best one in the entire game with the air swords, which are completely insane. The ground swords, take a full gauge, is a borderline useless now, but I mean, what can you do about that? It really hurts actually a lot of characters in the roster, as you would expect, because they were relying on Cyrax ground swords. They were pretty much reliant on that. And they were reliant on the air swords not having that much scaling to actually do their big damage. For example, this guy, who's now really bad compared to what he was. Still very good, but nowhere near where he was. So yeah, just as expected, Cyrax's nerf really puts down a lot of characters. Actually, considering how he lost pretty much all viability on block, I am putting him here. No, that's the best placement. That is the best placement. Sorry if I'm just changing it around. That's the best placement. Frost is better than him for sure. Yeah, Cyrax lost too much viability to actually rank him anywhere else. It's pretty much strictly a combo tool now. That's pretty much what it is. Like, the viability on block is still there. It exists, but it's so expensive. You're pretty much almost never gonna get it. But just the fact that it exists give him an edge over Scorpion. So it's just not strictly a combo tool, but it's very close to it. Granted, the combos he's doing are really cool though, man. I do like how they nerfed Cyrax because Cyrax was way too good. It's obvious, but I do feel like the combos he has are amazing. So I'm losing all viability and just becoming useless is something I was really hoping wouldn't happen, and I still think is useful. But let's be real here. I don't feel like you're using any of the cameos in this game other than the ones who are like Kung Lao or maybe Striker. Kung Lao, Striker, Sarina, and Sub-Zero are pretty much the only viable cameos in this game, unfortunately. I don't think these three are much better than these three, but actually, Go better than Sector. No, Sector I feel like is above him. So yeah, guys, just this is my tier list. I do feel like these three are better than these three, but not by a significant margin enough to just drop them down here. Sector and Goro are actually. I know how to do it. No. That's the best way to go around it. Yeah. That's how I'm gonna go around it. Yeah, that's the best way to go around it. So yeah, guys, rip Cyrax. I don't know what else to say. He's nowhere near what he was. He was a monster. Now he's a puppy compared to what he was. So yeah, Cyrax isn't very good right now. Like, he just lost almost all of his viability. I'm happy to see that because I can actually see other cameos, but it is actually kind of unfortunate just how bad he is right now compared to how he was, because just how much they nerfed, and the nerf was, in my opinion, a bit overtuned. Like, they overdid a bit, in my opinion, but still I'm happy just because I don't want to see his face in online for the next month at the very least, because I'm just traumatized. But regardless, guys, this is my tier list. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with me. Sorry if it took me a bit too long, but I was trying to just get it done because they're probably not going to do another cameo patch for the next month or so. So I just wanted to have this down before I'm doing the rest. I'm going to be doing a playable, I'm going to record a playable character tier list now. I'm going to be dropping it most likely a few hours after this one drops. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you want to. Worst case scenario, I'm dropping it a day after, but regardless, I'm going to drop it soon. It changed a lot, much more than the cameos did actually. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.